ABA is no doubt the best anime fighting game on Roblox. It survived for years, outlasting hundreds of other anime fighters like Anime Cross X or even the new Shonen Unleashed. But I don't think the reason it survived was because they kept adding new characters. I think it survived because the way you played the game fundamentally always shifted and never stayed the same. We went from janky, no IQ grounded fights to high-speed aerial chess matches like where Light, Yagami, and L, where one mistake means a stock gone or possibly the game being lost. To be able to understand this, we're going back to the beginning to see how ABA's mechanics evolved from humble beginnings into the sweatfest we know and love, or hate, today. So with that, let's go ahead and take it back to the ancient days of ABA.
But before I start, this is a video about the general mechanics of ABA. Everything I say here might not be 100% accurate, so please don't attack me. Before ABA was free, it was in paid access for around a year. That was until June 28th, 2019 when it became free to play for a weekend, which was around the time when I started playing. This also brought the update for the My Hero roster and Deku. The game's free weekend ended up doing so well that the devs decided to make the game free instead of paid access. As great as that was, ABA only had pubs around this time, as Ranked wouldn't be released until about a year later, meaning that ABA during this era was pretty much like this. But even still, the game still felt really fresh. Back then, the game was like no other when it came to any Battlegrounds anime fighters. But as awesome as the game seemed and felt back then, this was still far from the case. This era really didn't have any defining characteristics. I mean, it was brand new and it had just became free after being in paid access for around a year. Everything around this time was really buggy. Combos weren't really anything special. The most people did for an experienced player was 4 M1s into a skill, and if the hitboxes cooperated, you could land an extender maybe. But the usual for this time was usually everyone running around like ants, spamming moves and failing to fully M1 anybody. And like I said before, this game was incredibly buggy. Hitboxes for certain moves and M1s would just not work, or would work way too well. But overall, there were no insane movement techs or sophisticated playstyles. It was just people running around, spamming 1, 2, 3, and some funny bugs. What I remember the most playing back in this era were the random down tilts. Sometimes you'll be M1ing someone and you'll either bounce off of them or bounce off of a floor, or I don't even know, but you would randomly do down tilts out of nowhere and it would mess up your combo completely. But as we all know, the game didn't stay like this forever, so let's go ahead and fast forward to what I consider this game's golden age to be. The golden age brought a very important mechanical change, which was ladders. Introducing the Y-axis. Hitting someone on the final hit of your M1 didn't have to be the only option this time. Laddering is when you up tilt and extend with a move while holding space to continue your M1 string. When players learned to do this, it raised the skill ceiling. Combos went from barely killing anybody to being able to 100 to 0 with about 80% of the characters in the game. This change mattered so much that the devs of the game had to up the overall health of the players from 100 to 120 so that the game didn't become touch of death for a specific character you played. But for a short time that didn't matter because players came up with a way to bypass this for pretty much every single character in the game. Enter the upfling tech. By timing your jump before you upfling, you were able to fly on top of the person and basically extend your combo. This tech basically made it to where you could infinite combo with just your M1s, essentially making it to where characters who couldn't finish you off with a basic down slam combo were able to always kill you. An example of this would be Afro Samurai, who's even today doesn't even have a touch of death, but with the upfling tech you could basically always kill with him.
The uplink tech was eventually patched out in future updates. Not a lot of people were really good at it. It was actually questioned if this tech was bannable or not, but it was eventually patched on the 24th of April in 2023. But let's step away from the past and move on to the present. In today's era of ABA, pretty much everybody knows the basics of a down slam combo or a ladder or just an M1 string in general. But what separates the average players from the high skill players? The answer comes down to two words: knowledge and respect. You're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, whenever you're playing ABA, you're not just fighting your opponent, you're in somewhat of a psychological war. Knowledge begins the moment an ABA match starts. When you see the character your opponent is playing, you begin to get an understanding for how you expect him to play. But obviously how you expect someone to play is completely different from how someone will play, which is why during the fight with your opponent, your knowledge is constantly updating. On top of having and updating the knowledge of your opponent, you have to have the knowledge of the character he's playing. The more you know about a character, from his moves, his cooldowns, to even the combo itself, the better you will do because of that knowledge. Okay, so now you know a little bit about knowledge. What about respect? Well, there are two things you need to respect while playing ABA. That is your opponent and your opponent's character. Respect the opponent. Well, what could that possibly mean? Well, almost everyone on ABA has lost to a bum at some point while playing. That was most likely due because of a lack of respect for that lower skilled player. And because you didn't respect that player, you didn't respect the character he was playing. You see, respect for the player and the character go hand in hand. It's a lot like the general term knowledge and respect. Without respect, your knowledge is useless, and without knowledge, you don't have respect, which is the same about respect for your opponent. If you don't respect your opponent, you don't respect the character he's playing. And if you don't respect your opponent's character, you don't respect your opponent. Here's me versus my friend Metro, high skilled player who could touch a leaderboard anytime he wanted to. In this match, I was able to beat him with the help of another high skilled player telling me what to respect and what to be careful for. To remove any doubt, my friend Metro played in an ABA league, and this is everything he's managed to accomplish. This is a real ABA league.
Yes, super, you saved my life. You saved my life, super, you did it.
Even with just basic respect and knowledge, I was able to give a high skilled player a run for his money. But like I said before, this is just scratching the surface of knowledge and respect. So if you would like me to go into more detail, let me know in the comments. We all know that ABA hasn't exactly been the smoothest ride, but you can't help but respect the evolution that it's gone through. If you have any criticisms you'd like to share with me, please feel free to let me know. And if you did enjoy this video, all I ask is that you give it a like. It's enough to push it out to other people. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.